What's up, guys? Welcome back to Baldy's Mix, where we explore the wonderful world of mixed games. I'm your host, Eric Baldwin, better known for my No Limit Hold'em tournament prowess, but we're getting in here, we're learning new games, we're trying stuff out, and today we got something special. We got a new mix that has just dropped on Phenom Poker called the Chop Shop Mix. It is split pot games galore. Here is a look at all of the different split pot games we got going. We do have one non-split pot game, Deuce to 7 Raz, and I've been told that's just a placeholder while they get Raz Doogie released. So that'll be Raz Doogie as soon as that gets released. Phenom just released Big Easy yesterday. Big Easy is 6-card PLO 8 or better. I played some of it last night and the game is fun. And between the PLO 6-card we played yesterday and the PLO 6-card high-low we played last night, we went on a little heater and we're coming in today down $17 over the 9 sessions that we've streamed. So this is a big day. And we're gonna hop right in, and we're playing a little 10-20 today, so I don't think we're gonna be even at the end of today. Things are gonna go one of two ways. Alright, so it looks like we're starting off with PLO 8 or better. This should feel funny after playing this game with 6 cards last night for a couple hours. And I was also just playing the regular cash game, so there was no cap. So, playing the 40 BB version. These, there can be like a lot of small pots where nobody really puts much money in, and then just all of a sudden, there's just like 3-way all-ins in this game. Especially in the 6-card variant. Oh wow, I got lucky. I just happened to have the rules for this game up at the top. Alright, let's get into some trouble right away. I think in position with the SPR it's gonna leave behind in a double suited hand. I mean, this smells like trouble because we're gonna end up with a lot of second best hands that we feel like we gotta go with. Not on this one, I don't think. Felt close as a button open, but have a low draw, have a double suited hand. Alright, Baldy. Ace 4 with 2 aces and a 5. I think this is probably good enough to open from the cutoff. Let's get our Baldy up. Table's filling up. Got a small blind 3-bet and a big blind cold call and draw 2. They can laugh at me as I draw 3. Wish I kept that other ace. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 4. Tempting to keep the 3, just because obviously it's a good part of an ace to 5 hand. And maybe we should. But I'm gonna keep drawing to the good hands that we can put a lot of bets in on the later streets when the bet size is bigger. Could be a big day on Twitch. We're 3 followers away from 100. So, you want to be lucky number 100. Hop on over to Twitch, give us a follow. I would appreciate it. This will be a change of pace after 6-card PLO. Now we're gonna be playing a lot of limit chop pot games. But this will be fun on its own. Like, just some of these games that are in the mix I've never played on stream. This Archie 66 is basically 5-card draw, high-low split. Drama Doogie I don't think I've played on stream before. It's Omaha and Badoogie, which is an interesting mix. Kind of feels counterintuitive, like you're drawing to two very different things. We got 2 tables of this chop shop going on. Seems to be that people are excited about it. Games like Badesi are not the games to go for big bluffs. Like, it's tempting to go for a steal just with this many aces, but your success rate of taking it down is just not very high. And then you're just going to be behind when you draw 4, and your opponents are going to be able to play aggressive. It's like next, stud, high, low, regular. Which, if you were with us yesterday, is a game that's not spread very often. And there's a reason for it. But I don't know. I mean, when you get used to it, you learn that you really just play it like Raz. And then the high hand just kind of backdoors into it. A lot of these hands do not go to showdown because of how important it is to have the best low draw. Like, this should be our pot on a steal a high percentage of the time. And these steals are important to your win rate. Like, as you can see, there's 15 in the middle. It cost me 10 to complete. The up card's usually dead in this game. All right. Okay, so now this person putting chips into the pot with a queen, this is just a weak range. So just gonna do my best to get as much money in the pot as possible right now. Donkey's got the right idea, doing the same thing. We're okay if he folds, we're okay if he puts money in. And now we're heads up with a bunch of dead money in the pot. And now I'm gonna play it a little deceptively. Drawing so well, we're gonna go ahead and take the lead. Bet the strength of our board. He doesn't know we paired. Couple monsters here, and now as we get closer to 7th Street, picking up a straight draw and a flush draw is nice. We brick there. We got 3/4, so we must have had the same low, and our pair of 4s notched the pair of 3s. All right, got a full table going. Thank you guys for joining. Okay, a lot of the cards we would like to draw are dead, and a lot of low cards behind with two people already putting money in. We're gonna make a tight fold here. Yeah, I got a little bit of the 6-card bug yesterday after finishing the stream with it. Got home later on last night and saw that 6-card PLO 8 had been released and jumped right in. Fired up a little stream, made a little money. Alright, so Archie 66. 5-card draw game with 3 draws. High-low split, but you need 8 or better to qualify for the low. All right. Important to pay attention to how many your opponent draws to help yourself try and range them. So opponent draws 2 after 3 betting. A lot of times that's trips. Good players will be deceptive and kind of just keep an extra useless card sometimes just to up fold equity though. We'll draw one more time while the bet is cheap. Not loving this situation. Playing out of position in draw games is not much fun. So he's representing a full house now. Okay, 4 cards to a low. But it's not a pretty low, and we're the low jack. I think I'm gonna lay this one down. I'm gonna prefer 4-card low draws that are better than to an 8-7, and also ones that have the possibility of filling in a straight. Leaving yourself scoop outs is super important. A lot of your equity comes from the times you do scoop a big pot. Just entering a pot with 5 ranges behind you yet to act, where you've got kind of a marginal hand to draw at half the pot. Typically not a good recipe for success. Three of a kind's pretty good in 5-card draw. I think we'll go for the 4-bet and try and drive someone out. Very little experience at Archie. Okay, so he 3-bet and drew 1. So it could be like a premium draw or a premium low hand or 2 pair. We 4-bet. He only drew 2. But he also didn't 5-bet, so it makes me think he doesn't have better trips than us. Alright, time to slow down, I guess. If you're kind of playing along in your head, easy to tell how difficult it is to play out of position in this game. Like, we're pretty much just in the dark. And in draw and call and hope mode. Like, we're hoping this is obviously either we make a boat or quads, or this is a low. We're about to find out. But we block a lot of lows. and we've drawn a lot of low cards, so we'll see. Yep, so kept the 2 pair, drew the full house right away, and we just never drew anything to go with it. So the 66 in Archie here, you actually have to have a pair of 6s or better in your hand to qualify for the high. And that's to just make it so that if 2 players are both going for a low and one beats the other but neither of them has a pair, you don't reward the guy with like the worst low hand. So that's why there's a qualifier in here on the high half. And if nobody qualifies for either, I forget, I've seen this question brought up. It doesn't happen very often at all. I believe the pot goes entirely to the highest high hand, but I'm not sure. Hard to know what to make of draw 2s, especially when they didn't play aggressive, because you don't think it's trips, so it's probably like 3 to a flush or 3 to a low. My best bet would be that hand is 4 to a low now. And probably a made low now. No reason to bet against a pat hand. So yeah, it's a made low. We get Delta made low. Good spot to go for a steal, but then if you do see action, you know, you're kind of drawing to half the pot or your opponent folding. So it's not as good of a situation as you might think, especially with an 8. Could always draw towards something, but against a draw 2, I think we just keep the pressure on and hope he folds at some point. And you'll see a lot more folding on the first big bet street than after the first draw. All right, here we go. 6 card PLO 8. Someone's posting. And we have 3 10s. Obviously the third 10 not ideal, but ace tray 5 with a suited ace is tempting to get in here. You get check 2 twice and you're on the end. This has got to feel like a pretty good steal spot. And if you're in our shoes and you're going to be kind of like tempted to call a bet here, this is probably a good spot, even though we don't love our hand, to put in a bet ourselves. That's one thing I've noticed in a lot of these mixed games, is if you're going to plan on check calling anyway, a lot of times it's best to put in the bet. Now that's easier said than done in limit games, because when you get raised, it doesn't cost you as much. But this feels like a spot where that concept might have carried over well, because now we're forced to fold a hand that, you know, had we done something like blocked or bet half pot or something here on the turn, a lot of good things could have happened for us. Super cool feature on Phenom. It orders the cards for you. When you're dealing with 6 cards and a high and a low, it can be a lot to keep track of. All right. As far as ace deuce hands go, this one's relatively weak. So I think I'm gonna just call this. I could be playing too weak, but I don't think just any ace deuce has got to be a 3-bet or a squeeze. Okay, here's another one of those spots I was just talking about. Our hand's not great, but we don't really want to check and face a bet. That said, I think this player is more likely to check behind on the end, so I am going to check this time. Now we got 2 pair and a 6 deuce for the low. And nobody's shown any strength whatsoever. I think we can bet without fear of getting scooped. These hands are all so tempting to play, but position seems so important here that this isn't like a premium. Then again, what I didn't take into account is there's a pretty big ante in here. I think I gotta be playing that hand actually, now that I think about it. Flatting out of the small blind isn't always a lot of fun, but pretty sure we gotta find a way to play more hands when that ante's in there. Think so. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys prefer watching on YouTube, just started streaming to that channel as well, at Baldy Poker, as you can see down here at the bottom of the screen. Alright, last hand of Big Easy. Off to Drama Doogie. I'm gonna have to read my rules on this one. It's been a minute. Alright, let's see. Drama Doogie combines Omaha High and Badoogie. Players are dealt 5 cards, 1 drawing round after flop betting. Pot is split between the best Omaha High hand and the best Badoogie hand. Okay. So we're looking to make both a high hand and a low hand, but we get 5 cards. One drawing round. Interesting. Seems like a tough game to scoop. Games like Drama Doogie or Dramaha Deuce to 7 come to mind. Or Raz Doogie, I suppose. Or wait. Is Raz Doogie a thing? Yeah. Yeah, never mind. That one doesn't qualify. But the games where part of the hand goes high, part of the hand goes low seem pretty difficult to scoop. but we're gonna probably want to draw to the Badoogie more so than the Omaha High, just because you're gonna have a better idea earlier in the hand if you're live for the Badoogie half, whereas things can really change in the Omaha part. And you can put in money now pre-draw with a good Badoogie starting hand, whereas, you know, you haven't seen the flop yet on the Omaha side. So you don't know that you're going to flop well, but you know if you're going to have a decent draw at a Badoogie. So it makes sense to, as far as starting hands go, kind of prioritize the Badoogie, I believe. All right, let's do this. Drama Doogie. With only one draw. So our made Badoogie hands are going to be worse than we're used to as far as winning Badoogie hands. So even though we have 5 cards, making a Badoogie's probably a pretty good hand. All right, we're gonna keep our set. We're gonna keep one of our 6s and our jack. But first we're gonna check raise. And now when we draw 1, it looks like we could have a good Badoogie. Not sure. But we're just going to keep betting. We don't rate to have the best Badoogie hand, so now we're just going to maximize fold equity. And in a lot of these split pot games, this is a lot of the bluffing that you will see. You already have kind of half of the pot locked up, and you're bluffing in the sense that you're trying to drive your opponent off the other half and take down the whole pot yourself. So that's why you don't see as many just like naked bluffs, because you don't need them. Like, you're gonna have too many bluffs if you start reaching for, you know, pretty weak hands to bluff with. So you might as well use this stuff with equity. I gotta catch up on all my poker Twitter drama. Saw people talking like cheating allegations and some live tourneys here in town, but I haven't had a chance to really dig into it yet. If any of you guys know what's going on there and want to bring me up to speed, feel free. It looked like some people were pretty heated and not happy with how some floors and some dealers handed some pretty serious accusations, so that's certainly not a good look if true. It'll definitely be interesting to see how as AI gets stronger and, you know, there's greater capabilities with glasses, and I don't know if eventually with like contact lenses and stuff. It'll be interesting to see how the casinos kind of police that in order to keep games fair, because I'm sure they don't want people like with blackjack counting software in their glasses just picking up all the cards that are on the table and starting to beat up the house. So it'll be interesting to see how they police that. And of course, poker no different with you know, accusations and some of the technology that's been used to cheat. It's not something I encounter often at all, or suspect anything often when I'm playing in casinos. I think it's probably a bigger issue in a lot of private games. That said, it's always good to make sure you're protecting yourself and knowing what kind of stuff's going on out there so you can protect yourself. One of the easiest ways I think people try to cheat is just through like manipulating the cards, whether it's like using their fingernails to like dent, you know, aces or certain suits, or if you're playing mixed games like low cards. And a major pet peeve of mine is when card rooms run their cards just to the ground just to save a couple bucks. You know, I've played at places where they use these things until like the paint on the back of the cards is starting to wear, and you got some cards with where they're worn down on the back, and some cards that aren't. It's like, that's information, you know. It's just absurd to me how far some places run their decks of cards down before replacing them. And I get it, like, it doesn't really affect them. They just want the games to be running and they're taking their rake. But don't pretend to be serious about like security and protecting your players and then not replace your decks every so often. You know, when you look around the table, say you're playing a $800 tournament, each player at that table is paying like $100 in rake. So there's like $1,000 in rake at that table, and a lot of times it feels like you're playing with like 3 or 4 week old cards they're using to save. How much does a new deck of cards cost? I'm not sure, but on the final expense sheet of the poker room, I'm guessing that, you know, decks of cards isn't exactly that big of a proportion of the amount of rake that they're dropping. So I like to reward the rooms that take little measures like that to help protect the players. And if you're out there and the deck is garbage and you're worried about it, ask for a setup. And then if the floor comes over or the dealers are frowning at you because you ask to do something like uphold the game integrity, you know, you might want to talk to someone higher up, and if you keep getting that vibe from them, you might want to find a different place to play. You know, places that forget that the players are the customer, that really rubs me the wrong way, and it's a good indicator of, you know, where their priorities are at. So I guess end rant there, but definitely a pet peeve of mine. Or sometimes you'll end up on like a stream table, and those RFID decks, they're more expensive, so they're like more hesitant to replace them. But shit, at these final tables, you know, you got 6 figures on the line, and any little bit of information is worth a ton. You know, I'd love to see just fresh decks brought out all the time. All right, we got just a limp here. With 10-8 deuce on its own isn't a great hand, but with the deuce showing, it's a lot more playable. So this is interesting. The limp raise. I think this might be a thing that's like coming into fashion a little bit. yeah, we're gonna get out now. It's not often you just fold on 4th Street. But I'm gonna keep an eye out for this and see if more good players are going with a limp raise strategy or like a balanced limp range. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a thing in theory, just due to how much is in here in antes. But yeah, if you're thinking in terms of game integrity, what's more important, to have like the dealers making sure that a guy that's not in the hand is away from the table when he takes a phone call, or 458, 458. You know, little nitpicky things like that, or, you know, making sure that the deck of cards, which is used to play the game of poker, is like fresh, intact, has integrity. Pretty easy call to me. The other thing that happens in mixed game tournaments live, players like to squeeze cards too. So like sweating their new cards. Decks get beat up pretty often. If you've ever played like a Hold'em tournament and there's been a mixed game dealt at that table and they kept the cards there, I think you'll notice a lot of times that those decks are a little more beat up than usual, whether there's any ill intent on the part of people. It's interesting when you encounter that spot, if you can like examine the deck and see if like more low cards are beat up than high cards. A lot of times I'm sure it's just due to people just squeezing the cards. But if you do notice patterns in something like that, it's kind of interesting to see, and kind of eye-opening. Yeah, it's an interesting tug of war between players and operators, because obviously they're trying to minimize costs, and obviously we want as much as we can get for the lowest amount of rake. And to a certain extent, that's just the nature of the game between those two parties. And it doesn't mean, you know, there can't be a balance there. You know, we're not asking them to give us seafood buffets like they probably used to. But when it comes to measures like game integrity, that should be a no-brainer. And then when it comes to keeping the rake low, I think it's important, just as a player and a consumer of the poker products, that we just stay conscious of rake and make sure it's known that that's a priority to us. And then it's kind of on them to compete with each other. You know, we have that privilege as a player, as a consumer. You know, we don't have to answer all their questions for them, how they provide that product that we want. But I think as a player, it's important to kind of encourage that environment of competition between them. And when we're given a reasonable choice between places, that we choose the places that are providing a better product. And, you know, give them some free publicity and let them know that you appreciate it, and you know, help promote their stuff if they're ever facing an overlay and you like the way they do things. You know, they appreciate it when you help them out, and they're gonna keep you in mind down the road. All right. So, in Badusi Deuce to 7, this is the nut Badoogie hand. And so we keep betting and try and make a low hand to go with it. Sometimes this queen will do it. And I think we are free rolling a raise here. And little things like that do matter. Like, I've been around the game long enough now to just see, you know, the market just kind of shifts. You know, players start to shift towards places that do things better. And it's cool to see. And it's, like I say, it's one of the privileges that we get as players, as the paying customers. And just that little stuff like rewarding the ones that do stuff right. And, you know, when given a choice, choosing the ones that do stuff right and helping them out where you can, that stuff really does make a difference. And, you know, it's gonna help shift things in their favor. And before you know it, you're spending more time playing in places that you want to and less time in the places that maybe aren't doing things as well. All right, I just did a session review recording with Learn Mix Games on YouTube. I'll be putting that out for you guys. He's in the chat. Is Kyle, our friend Baby Duty from Phenom Poker. He says the video's going live tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific. So be on the lookout. I'll post it. Give him a follow. Learn Mix Games on both X and YouTube. Picked up a couple good things from our session there. Definitely still playing a little bit too passively in certain spots. And yeah, he's got a growing library of really good mixed game content. If you're looking to improve your game. And he had Chris Vitch, who is Death Donkey on X and YouTube. He had him on there recently, sharing some of his expertise. You may have heard him commentating the 100K on PGT, the Super High Roller Bowl mixed game event. So it's high level stuff. So can't recommend it enough. All right, so having the third wheel card here is a big deal than just having the naked ace 4. Okay, we're gonna just call. It allows us to represent like some low only hands, and then if we want, we can raise when the bet gets bigger here. We're beat by a lot of hands, and we can represent just heart draws with a low by just calling. So maybe we induce a couple more bluffs on the end. And now we have a pure bluff catcher, and he would have to be super ambitious, but then again, maybe we're chopping. Maybe he could do this with a worse 7. And we were ahead until the 8. 8 definitely not a good card. Man, we got within $17 of being in the black. And here we are, started with 500, we're back stuck. Yep, hopefully we can get it back doing this and not have to rely on our newly found PLO6 addiction. Can't rely on winning every time like we did yesterday. Check this other table out, guys. We got a little 1-2 fun mix going on with our guy JKRZ over here. Here's a look at the mix over here. But as you can see, this is 1-2 limit. You know, everyone's sitting with $111 or less at this table. So it just goes to show you, you can get a lot of experience and try out these games at a super reasonable price point and have some fun and earn some Phenom token along the way. So hop on over. I got links in my X bio. I got links on my Twitch page. If you just go straight to the Phenom Poker website, use referral base Baldy if you're willing, and get yourself set up. Get your own referral code, so you can benefit from that if you have friends that you think might be interested on joining as well. Gonna be off next week. Gonna go check out some spring training. I gotta get my table back up. Gonna go check out some spring training in Arizona. So no stream next week. But I'm gonna continue to start firing up some streams at night. Let's see here. We got no ace. This hand almost certainly has at least one ace in it. So we're kind of like hoping for an ace on the flop, but then we're not looking good for the high. So I think this is the right laydown in a pot limit format. So yeah, no stream next Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll be back the next Tuesday and Wednesday. I'll let you know what time. This 10 a.m. slot, I'm not sure. We might bump it back just a little bit. Feel free to let us know in the chat if you have a preference one way or the other. I'm pretty flexible on Tuesdays and Wednesdays usually. We're kind of just trying some different things out, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. For any of you baseball fans out there, if you haven't been to spring training, it's super fun atmosphere. There's usually there's just tons of games going on all over town. It's a laid back atmosphere. The players are more willing to interact with fans, and all the young prospects are getting their looks by the big league team. People are just enjoying some sunshine, hanging out, checking out a couple different ballparks a day. Super relaxing vibe, super fun vibe if you ever get the chance. About half of the teams do spring training in Phoenix and the other half are in Florida. That's right, Jay says you're stuck, but don't forget about the value of the tokens that you're earning. And that's right, I touched on this a little bit yesterday. Like, even when you break even or lose a little bit on Phenom Poker, you can feel like you came away with something because you're earning Phenom tokens. And if you're not familiar with the Phenom token model, hop on over to the website and check out the rakeback model. It's truly first of its kind. It's aligning the incentives of the site and the players, which has never been done before in online poker. And not only does your rakeback increase in value if the site continues to grow, but you also get paid a share of the rake that the site takes in every week. So it functions almost like a dividend, and also gives you voting rights as players bring up proposals for how Phenom Poker is run and governed. Truly for the players, by the players. Set up at Phenom Poker. So here's like a little look at a flow chart here. All the rake that gets taken in by the site, half of it gets paid out to the token holders based on how many tokens you have. So if you grind up a significant amount of tokens, you're gonna be making some money from the rake that the site takes in, as well as the value of those tokens is tied to how much rake the site is taking in. And it's been 7 straight weeks of the token price increasing, and tournaments are launching next month. And I know there's a lot of players that have been waiting for tournaments. And so I'm expecting continued growth. Stud 8 or better. Not sure about the split 8s here. There was 3 low cards behind that were kind of blocking the lows we needed. Then again, there's a big ante, so there's something to be said for just like 2-betting and getting the pot heads up a lot of the time. Funny terminology in the stud games, because there's the bring in, and then the first raise kind of is called the complete, and then like if I would have raised him there, it's technically called a 2-bet, even though it feels like a 3-bet if you're coming from a hold'em background. All right, we got the only low card, we got a pair, we got a low card with it. Up cards are powerful. Our friend Baby Duty joins, and yeah, in the video I just did with him, we were going over a little bit about how important the up card is, not only for the quality of your hand, but for you know, the visibility of what your range looks like. The worse card you continue, the worse up card you have that you continue with, your opponent's gonna be able to range you more accurately. Because like, say it's a Raz pot and I continue with a 10 or a Jack showing, they can be pretty confident that my other 2 cards are like super good low cards. Whereas if I continued with an 8 or a 9, they're gonna have a much tougher time ranging me and be less accurate in assuming when I pair and when I don't pair on the following streets. I don't like sitting with this kind of short stack here. So we're gonna add 500 to the stack. Add 500 down here. I really just don't like Baby Duty covering us by that much. Been there. I gotta get better at like catching a screenshot or something while I'm live and putting that out there. Gotta play the whole social media engagement game. Try and draw people in. I've read over and over again that the Twitch following can be, you know, tough at first. So kind of trying to stick that out. Appreciate you guys joining us there. Let's catch a random screenshot here and put this out. Okay. It does, but how many people are just going to my page? All right, Dramahad Deuce to 7. One of those games that feels strange to know which side to draw to. Definitely don't want many 2-card draws. But we have a suited ace. We have the button. Now I guess we keep the ace. This doesn't feel like a good spot shaping up. All right, so I think this is a pretty decent hand because we got a made jack and we got a nice looking rundown that connects with a lot of flops. I think your jack high and 10 high type rundowns are pretty good starting hands when it comes to this game. Alright, so we make a boat, we still have a jack, we got bet into on this queen. Either way, we're not getting scooped here. And I think we could scoop a hand like queen 8. No, excuse me, we couldn't. Not sure what we could scoop. 8-6 that chose to wait. Might really be up against it. 9-8. Okay, 8-6. Here's another good starting hand we were just talking about. Not our flop, but when we're confident in our low, it's nice to be able to just keep the pressure on and get folds from hands like weak 2 pair now. Just have to fear the jack high straight with a made low. Alright, we're not gonna get out of hand with this one. Deuce 4-7, typically a good starting hand, but a 1-card draw to a queen isn't that strong, and this hand doesn't have the best high properties. Going to PLO 8 or better. All right. Not a very good hand, but remember, we got the ante, and this is not the biggest to open. However, I think position is pretty important in this game. And this is just a terrible hand. Looks like both of these guys going with a 2.5x open. It's not really possible to study all of these games to the point where you've got them all down, so, you know, a decent shortcut is see what the other players in the game that you suspect might be good players are doing, and no shame in just copying them while you figure things out. Alright, we're gonna see a flop in position here. This isn't the best hand, and a lot of times we make a set, then we're, you know, not in good shape on the low. That said, a set on a rainbow flop. Plus we got the 4 blockers, which block a lot of the big draws. Okay. Want to bet enough to make a low draw really feel the pain. I think I've been too tight with hands like this in the past, but once you start getting to the cutoff, you're gonna end up in a heads-up spot a lot of the time. An ace-king with 2 other low cards and a nut suit, although it's a tri-suit, I think is good enough to open there. And it's nice to take these pots down. Using the 2.5x open, we're risking 1250 to win 15, and most of the time we're in position. All right, ace 4-5. Pretty good starting hand here. He's going to be opening a lot of hands. Gonna use this one to kind of protect our D2 range to allow us to have some strong hands. Did he pat? He patted. Ace tray. What do I want to draw here? Yikes. Ugly spot here against the pat hand. We've had so many low cards. And this isn't much of a bluffing game. I'm just gonna get out now. The pot's relatively small. It feels terrible folding a 6. But I wouldn't be confident on either side of the pot there. Be curious to know what he thinks of that one. I'm gonna message him after and think about that one. Ace tray 6 probably plays better heads up than multi-way. If I had 3 to a wheel, I might be more inclined to just flat the button here. But I kind of want to play this one, and I'd rather get it heads up with hopefully some dead blinds in here. So I think I like the 3-bet here. All right, we got a Badoogie, and I don't think I want to pitch the 8. An 8's not great, but it is a Badoogie. And we're gonna be looking to check this one behind on the end, I'm pretty sure. Nice. All right, Learn Mixed Games is in the chat. He says 7-4 trade deuce ace 2 card. He must be referring to that pot where I folded the 6-5-4. So wow, he's claiming I think we had him beat on both ends if he's telling us the truth here. All right, ace 4 7. 7s are dust, so we really only have an ace 4. I don't think we want to play any 2-card hands from the cutoff. All right, we're climbing back closer to even here. If you're looking to play some 200, 400 fun mix, or 150, 300, 8-game mix, we got people sitting those tables. So if high stakes mix games is your thing, hop on over to Phenom. Pretty sure our rake is way lower than your other options for playing mixed games, especially at high stakes. Seems like rake at high stakes has gotten absolutely out of hand lately. Yeah, how you can charge even close to the same percentages when it comes to high stakes is ridiculous. When you think about it in terms of raw dollar amount for the service being provided, and then when you think about how much value high stakes games have for sites and for card rooms, you know that people want to play where the biggest action is. So yeah, I would think you'd want to take care of your highest stakes customers. All right, so this guy that limp raised us earlier is opening. We definitely want to have some flats and some raises here. Trying to think if I ever want to flat this hand. That was interesting. So he went for a pure steal, it looks like, with only one up card behind. And earlier he limped and back raised. So just gonna keep an eye on players and their tendencies. Speaking of keeping an eye on, I should be keeping a better eye on these up cards. 5-7. Good steal spot here. And here's a spot like I'm talking about. We would check call against this 7 anyway, so we might as well keep the betting lead. It just allows us to get a lot more folds on 5th Street when we catch well. So it looks like Jupe is potentially hanging around for the high half. Everyone's got a pair now. We've got a 10-4 draw. Could be drawing dead against this hand. And this could be 3 jacks a lot of the time. So we're out of here on this one. We had a 2-3 and 2 4s, so those are definitely cards that block the best low hands over here. Be interested to see. Oh wow, I wonder if he timed out. That would be tilt. I highly doubt they were trying to fold there. Yeah, we got a OMG LOL in the text box. That's tilt right there. I had that happen to me twice yesterday. And I'm not sure if it cost me or saved me money. I was like in a close spot, thinking about putting a lot of chips in the pot, and timed out twice. Says he had a full house. Yeah, it doesn't take too long or too much play to grind up a significant number of tokens. Just playing on stream this week, I've probably grinded up 100 tokens, and the price is 69 cents a piece right now. So I could cash those in for $69 and treat it like standard rakeback, or I could choose to hold them, and as tournaments launch and the site hopefully continues to grow, that token value is only going to increase. So yeah, if you're grinding elsewhere, might be worth taking a look and seeing if you can't get a better bang for your buck and get something in return for your play that could really become quite valuable. All right, 2 pair against a 3-bet. A little bit uncomfortable. So yeah, when blue 3-bets and then draws 1, you know, there's a lot of 2 pair that beat jacks up. And then when Juke Juke draws 3, that's a high pair a lot of the time, which is very live to draw better 2 pair than jacks up. So looking to improve now. Not liking our chances now. We got 4 outs to a boat. And yeah, our 2 pair was in 3rd place, and our 10s were blocked. So again, Archie is 5-card draw, high-low split, but you need an 8 or better to qualify on the low. You need a pair of 6s or better to qualify on the high. That's easy to do if you're going for a high. Not sure if this is an open on the button or not, and if I would keep like the ace king of spades or the ace tray 5. I feel like it's probably a good spot to open and then draw 2, go to the ace tray 5, and have people give you credit for trips a lot. All right, 4 to a good low. I think is good enough. When we draw 1, we're gonna be given credit for 2 pair a lot. They both drew 2, so we're gonna keep the lead. Keep drawing one. Now if we pick up a low, it's a good spot to get folds and have a made low. We would check call if we checked, so we might as well keep betting, I suppose. Okay, we look like we have two pair. Ugh. I'm following through just in case he's on a brick low draw. Nope. So he made the low. He was on a low draw and had it come in. Had he paired there, I'd like to think we would have gotten a fold. Alright, here's our new game. 6-card PLO 8 or better. Dubbed Big Easy, I guess. So 4-card is PLO 8 or better, 5-card is Big O, and 6-card is Big Easy. For $5, we will see 3. Jay says you got to update your rocket picture on the sidebar. We're at 69 cents now. Yeah, I guess that's rolling through there. That's old news. Gone up. There it is right there. If you look over on the right side of the screen over here, that little rocket, the little graph, that's what the token price has done. And it's gone up even further from there. And while I'm on the sidebar, this next one coming up, I think it's next. You guys see the ad for pokerwithpresence.com? I gotta give a shout out to Jason Su right here. Win more with less stress and no regrets. Check out that website. Hop on his email list. He writes a original email every day. It'll give you a good feel for what he's all about. He's the best in the business when it comes to, you know, mindset, performance coaching type aspect. Super happy I joined his email list and then eventually became a client. Can't speak highly enough. Yeah, I don't think, in fact, I know I wouldn't be doing stuff like this. Probably wouldn't be learning all these mixed games and doing stuff that I've really deep down wanted to do for a long time if it weren't for Jason's help. So many thanks to Jason, and can't recommend him highly enough. If you guys, I mean, there's so much stuff out there now for like the technical aspects of the game. There's courses for everything. But how much are we actually paying attention to the mindset performance side of things? You know, it's kind of like if you've got a glaring leak in your game, or you're gonna nitpick one hand that you could play one way or another, which one's more valuable, right? Well, we've all been nitpicking the hell out of our technical poker games for a long time. I think there's a lot of huge gains that can be made just from some upgrades on the performance and mindset side of things. And it's not a bunch of voodoo either. It's Jason's as real as can be, and the things you learn are as real as can be, and translate over into all aspects of your life. So yeah, if you'd like to get a feel for Jason, he wrote a book, I believe called Poker with Presence as well, but hop on over to the website, jump on the email list, and I think you'll see what I mean. All right, here we go. Little big easy action. Double suited ace deuce tray. Baby Duty was giving me a hard time for playing slow, but I'm over here waiting, buddy. Let's make a decision. Wow, we get blasted into here. Is ace deuce with no flush draw enough to go with? We have the nut spade blocker, so this is likely a set with something going with it. I don't think this is enough, honestly. Like, I feel like we're pretty hopeless high. And, just the ace deuce without the 4. I think we just give that one up. Yeah, I don't have one for Big Easy yet. I gotta get some rules made up for Big Easy, so whenever we're playing Big Easy, I'm just gonna put the pot limit Omaha 8 or better rules up. It's the same rules, except you get dealt 6 cards. Where are we off to next? Drama Doogie Land. You guys that have been watching for a while, it's like easy to see how you go through all these different games and you're just bending your poker mind in all kinds of different ways. It's easy to see how when you get back to the 2-card game, if you're primarily a Hold'em player, how things are gonna just feel a little easier, you know? You're gonna feel better about your game. Things are gonna seem simpler. All right, Drama Doogie. We got ace deuce 4. Ace deuce 4 6. That's a heck of a wrap. Do we want to keep the 6? It lets us reach to the 7. However, if I draw another one, I've got an extra shot at drawing a spade, and I also have an extra shot at drawing a flush draw. So I think I'm going to pitch the 6. Could be wrong here, but I've been wrong before, and it ended up being okay. We made it here. Okay. Still just the 3-card Badoogie hand. Without the nuts or a draw to the nuts, I think we're just going to keep playing this passive. Blue padded. So that is likely a pretty good hand. Could easily have ace deuce 4 as well. All right, our straight played, and we're up against a 9 Badoogie. Now we got an ace tray 5. Double suited hand. Seems like a good one to see a flop with. But probably not so strong that we 3-bet. Maybe it is. Okay, ace tray 5. Keep our open ender. I'm just gonna pat and keep betting out of position. Keeps things simple. Maximizes our fold equity. Doesn't give a whole lot of information to our opponent. If I'm in his shoes, I'm giving us a Badoogie with a pair or two, or a Badoogie with a straight draw, so feels like we're gonna get a lot of fold equity, and that beats the heck out of doing a whole lot of drawing and kind of giving our opponent a lot of information. Playing draw games out of position is about as much fun as furniture shopping. You guys know what I mean. I mean, if you're at home right now, take a look around. See if you got a spot that could use an upgrade. You know, maybe freshen up your surroundings a little bit. But do you really want to go out and tackle that project? Probably not. I get it. Your stuff works. You're used to it. You don't want to go out and tackle the project. I get it. Well, come check out twotree.co. You'll see it on the side panels. Twotree.co. You're going to come to the website. You're going to take a short, fun survey, and we're going to put together some incredible furniture options for you and make it as easy as possible to order. We've got an amazing promotion going on right now. Not only is our fee going to be waived, but you can have 15% off your entire furniture order. So you're going to be getting a great deal on some great quality furniture. You're going to have professional eyes putting something together that's going to work great for your space, your style preferences, and your budget. You really can't beat it. Go ahead and use code 2TreePoker at checkout for 15% off your order. And if you just want to check it out, come over to the site, fill out the survey, and see what comes back. You're gonna get a couple amazing furniture boards to take a look at your options and start to picture what it would look like in your place. And I promise the survey is short and fun, and I would love to hear your feedback, and you might end up thanking yourself later as you are in your new and improved surroundings, having gotten a great deal with some expert help. All right, we got a 10 Badoogie, 2 pair, and a flush draw. This is what I'm talking about in Dramadoogie. Our opponents both drew 2. These are the pots where it's sad when you have to chop. Hoping we don't have to. We got a pretty good hand both ways. Seven Badoogie over here. Nice hand. All right, deuce to 7 Raz. Pretty self-explanatory, but it's like Raz, except straights and flushes count against you and aces are high. We could certainly be drawing dead here. We're pretty sure he did not pair the 9. Or she. Ugh. Yeah, I think Two Tree could really be perfect for poker players. Especially online poker players. Like, I get it. Nobody wants to... It's an intimidating process to try and refurnish your place. And there's not a whole lot of good resources out there, you know? Like, you don't want to go full out and go a full interior design route. At the same time, it can be intimidating and not really know where to start when it comes to picking out some stuff that's going to really upgrade your place. And we kind of combine the best of both worlds. Make it as quick and easy and painless as possible. Get you some expert guidance and get you on your way. Alright, I might try and drum up a little 6-card PLO action to finish off the stream today. I'm gonna sit a couple tables, see if we can't get some action, finish off with a little bit. It's fast and furious. And after all of these split pot games, I'm feeling a little high only action. Any of you guys watching, if you got a Phenom account, hop on here and battle. Let's have some fun. Alright, I'm sitting 1-2 and 2-4. See if we get any takers. I was thinking about short buying the 2-4 game. But nah, let's get some action going here. I'm stuck a couple hundred. Come on over. Alright, in the meantime. Badusi. Really can't overstate how nice it is to be able to switch up games when you're kind of tiring with one of them. Like, yesterday, was feeling a little groggy, and kind of the limit games weren't really hitting the spot for me, and then we switched over to some PLO6, and by the end of the stream we were just like having a blast. And sometimes it's nice to be able to just fire up some limit, kind of relax a little bit, and play some limit poker and take off that big bet stress for a while. So if you're someone who's looking to increase their volume, instead of just like forcing yourself to just nose to the grindstone, I gotta grind, how about expanding your options, you know? Because then you're gonna be able to do and play what you want to, and when you're in that state where you're doing something that you want to do, you're gonna be able to play forever because you're having fun and you're engaged. So, hey, Kay Gerhardt, now following, welcome in. I assume that is the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Gerhardt himself, who also did some amazing commentary work on the recent PGT series. Thanks for joining, Kevin. All right, we got 3 threes. 2 card hands aren't amazing in Badusi, but we got some blockers going on. I'm gonna keep the heart. Keeping the heart just because the Queen of Hearts is dead. All right, looks like we're gonna get some PLO6 action going, so I'm gonna sit out of the 1-2. We're gonna have some 2-4 starting. And I'm gonna sit out next big blind over here. Oh boy. I don't want a timeout. Alright, we still got a decent draw here with the 3-card Badoogie. Sorry, I'm playing heads up on the PLO6, so my head's spinning a little bit at the moment. Gotta get through this. Alright. D1, D2, 3 cards to a 6, no more draws. Deuce to 7, our jack could play, I guess. Alright, happy to get half of that one. Let's see here. Do I have a full house over here? Or do I just have a 6? What am I doing? I think I just have a 6. I'm gonna get out there. I'm gonna fold here. I got one more hand of Badusi, and then we can focus on this 6-card madness. I'm gonna get another 500 added to my buy-ins. All right. All right, our man CEO was really driving the action yesterday. Looks like he's hungry for more. We're happy to see a free one. 2 backdoor flush draws. And we are gonna say goodbye to the Chop Chop mix. Looks like we lost $222. But we had a great time. Alright, probably don't want to draw at low straights on a paired board when people have 6 cards. I'm gonna move this over here. And focus up on this 6 card. Alright, let's get the rules straightened out up top. Pretty simple, it's PLO, but you get a couple extra cards. And the implications are huge. All right, we got a game. See if we can continue the trend of running hot in the 6 card. It is quite hard to flop stone air in this game, as you can see. Bottom 2, bad flush draw, and an open ender. A lot of stuff, and none of it feels spectacular. Okay, we like that, and our opponent is pretty capped. So I think we get to pot here. Got looked up by aces. That hand's probably not as good as it looks. Having the 4 to a suit really hurts you. Less likely you make your flush, and you also just unblock your opponent having the other flush draws. I don't know if that's a thing or not. CEO coming right in, playing big pots again. Yeah, Kevin, I feel you on that sentiment. He says, doing commentary for the highest stakes mixed games with the best players is the dream. The hardest part is balancing between people who know the games and people who don't. I can feel you there. It's not that I know the games at a super high level, but kind of trying to balance whether I need to just be explaining the rules to everything or like trying to go into, you know, my thoughts on blockers. Tough balancing act. This is about as hard as you can whiff a board when you get 6 cards. It's like a pie gow or something. Maybe I'll try and get a second game going, especially if this one's gonna fill up. There's a 1-2 big O game going. I don't know if I want to try and split my brain between one high only game and one split pot game or not. You know, why not? People seem to like Big O. Alright, we're getting ready to fire some 1-2 Big O on a second table here. Multi-tabling is alive and well here at Phenom Poker. Just gotta make sure I don't confuse which table's which, because this looks like a really good Big O hand. Definitely got to play cautious out of position in the PLO games. I feel like a lot of newcomers that are coming over from Hold'em definitely over C-bet out of position. And when your opponent has 6 cards and the board is sure to shift, like as far as what the nuts are, your visibility is not that great. All right, we're in the mix in Big O. And we got a 5-card rundown with 2 suits and a little dangler 4. See what kind of fun we can have with this one. We're gonna call and see a flop. Facing a min raise over here. We flopped 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 jack with a flush draw. As you can see, what an amazing game we've got here. As far as calling or raising, I'm not sure. I was just scared to run out of time, so I clicked call. Maybe should have raised, just being out of position against this guy. Oh, we have a straight also. Yeah, we have a straight. I'm just gonna put it in and try and get some better flush draws to fold, I guess. Tell me we win. Look at that. Six-card PLO Mastermind. Just really feel like a natural at this game. So how many cards was that? I had 9 cards in a row. I feel like I should have had like a little bonus bet down and they would have paid me 100 to 1 or something. I think we're in the black. We sat here with 500. Let's see, we lost 222 in the other one. We're up 370 in this one. I think we've done it. I should maybe just book the winner. Just snap sit out. Can't do that. All right, here we got a good big O hand. I want to ask Kevin a bunch of questions about these games and these spots I'm getting in, but I don't know. Is that's borderline RTA, perhaps? So you're gonna catch people in 6-card PLO that they fold this hand and then they see they would have flopped a boat and then they just lose their minds and they start V-pipping like 85% of hands. I think this is probably gonna be a pretty good game for quite a long time. And while I'm no expert, it has felt like these games are good over the last couple days. So get yourself over here, get yourself a Phenom account created, use referral code BASEBALDY. Get yourself set up. Tournament's launching next month. You'll be in a great position for when your friends want to come on over here and check out the tournaments. You can give them your referral code. You can start earning on their rake. And we can all benefit and all make some money as this thing continues to grow. So yeah, like I was talking about yesterday, this 5 and deuce are just like useless. Like you got a great 4-card PLO hand, but the 5 and deuce do absolutely nothing for you and really hurt your hand. That said, we would have flopped 3 pair. Somehow there's no straighter flush possible. It doesn't happen very often. Yeah, not very often in Omaha where top set ends up being the nuts. I guess in position we can peel this one double suited even with the extra queen. Someone in the chat says, pro tip, this is not high-low. And Nikki said, oh shit. So I wonder if she misplayed a hand where it was obvious. That stuff is painful. Alright, we got a triple suited hand. Could probably raise, could probably limp raise. Not sure what optimal 6-card PLO blind versus blind strategy is. Okay, we raised. We do get some bets here. I'll do that. Big O over here. Alright, nut flush draws almost always have decent equity. That said, we certainly don't want to bloat this pot further. Face the block. I'm alright seeing a essentially free river card. Over here we got top 2. While we don't love it, we're just gonna stick it in there. And do we get to block here? I don't know, it's too easy to have ace king or better here, I think. was a block in position, huh? Yeah, I don't know. Just when someone's got 6 cards, it's tempting to think they're gonna underbluff. Plus, we're probably just protecting being in the black, although I'm not sure we are anymore. We lost about 100 over here in the Big O streets, so it's close now. Wow, look at this. Kevin is offering to do a review session. I gotta hop on that. Let's go. Cool. So be on the lookout for that as well. This has been amazing. I'm getting all kinds of tips and strategy and help from people in the mixed game community. Pretty cool stuff. I think that one, like, it never goes down, so it just like adds dues as more people click in. And so it counts different on there than it does on Twitch. I've noticed that. Aces in Big O. High only hands in Big O. Interesting. Alright, versus the min raise. We'll see a flop here. Got a pair and a wheel wrap and a bad flush draw. I kind of like potting there just because I feel like if we bet less, we might not be able to fold out any flush draws. And with our low flush draw, I think it benefits a lot. Alright, let's raise it up. Double suited aces. Double suited, double paired aces with a little bit of rundown action going on. We're about to have a big 3-way pot. Good time to flop top set. With the nut flush blocker. Not a whole lot going on here. And when you got 6 cards and you don't have a whole lot going on, like the unblocker effects to your opponent having something going on, seem pretty extreme. So I feel like you might be more willing to take stabs in PLO than when you have 6 cards. All right, we'll give this a few more orbits. Appreciate you guys being with us today. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be a battle to see if we can end in the black or not. I'll try and get you an updated total here in a second. Two pair and a flush draw. Against a full pot bet with someone behind and no blockers to the nuts. These games will make you adjust what you value as a quality hand and what you don't. All right, so I lost 222 on the Chop Shop mix game. I'm down 111 here, so that goes 333, and I'm up 320 here, so I'm stuck $13 over the course of 10 streaming sessions. So the battle is on. Double suited aces. Let's break through right here. Definitely stuck on the mixed games though, and definitely up in the 6-card PLO streets. So we got some work to do. We're about to play a big one here. We might be up or down 3 or 4 grand after this one. My goodness. I mean, we just can't hang with that kind of action. What do we got here? Did we just lead pot a set? Or are we just looking to play a big pot? Let's find out. Just kings with a wheel wrap. And here, oh my goodness. Kings ship that monster pot? Oh, it hurts. It hurts, but how can we just stick it in? Wow. That was wild. What on earth? Here's the replayer from that hand. So we cold called a 3-bet, found the overpair with the wheel draw, and just lead potted. Over here, we opened, called a 3-bet with 4 hearts and a little bit of a rundown action going on. And then when we found the 3-4-6, we went with it. Wow. Hard not to feel that one. So what was our hand looking like? So our hand really had nothing with it. We had backdoor diamonds. Yeah, not sure. Versus this kind of action? Are we just sticking in naked aces there? We would be up so much. We'd be up 1,000. How do I deal with $13 swings? How do I deal with $13 swings? Go to Poker Presence, pokerwithpresence.com, and you too can learn how to deal with $13 swings and still cracking jokes minutes after folding what would have been the best hand in a massive multi-way PLO 6 hand. Alright, maybe one more orbit. Give ourselves a chance to get unstuck. You guys see on the side panel, we got an amazing welcome bonus. 150% first time deposit bonus up to 3,000 USDT. You want to take advantage of that? First, you got to create an account and use referral code Baldy, of course. And then once you have your account created, before you make your first deposit, use deposit bonus code WELCOME for that 150% bonus. So between that welcome bonus and the rakeback model, and with a little bit of luck, token price continuing to rise, you could really be seeing an incredible deal when it comes to rakeback and rewards on your money here at Phenom Poker. Oops, what am I doing here? Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Always had a way to make it work and find another route. Could this be the one that puts us in the black? Here's a fun looking hand. We got 3 suits, a 4-card rundown, and a pair. Don't see that in your Hold'em tournaments. And that is a brick. Here we got the nut low and a couple of straight blockers and a couple of nut low blockers. All right, over here, I'm going to give you guys a live look at what's going on the roadmap on Phenom Poker. So one of the super cool features is there's a roadmap where people can post suggestions for things to be added to the site or improvements to be made by the site. And as you can see, people can upvote what they like, and the stuff that gets upvoted the most gets prioritized the highest by Phenom Poker and the developers. And as you can see, these improvements have already been completed. Looks like people wanted the 6-card Omaha card sorting that we've seen, leaderboards. We've got an awesome leaderboard promotion going on right now. And the number one thing people are asking for is tournaments and sit and goes, and those are set to launch next month. Downloadable hand histories, hot tables, and daily reward tables. Not too familiar with those, but it looks like there's demand. And for real, the developers and Phenom Poker really does take this stuff into account and prioritize what the players want to see. I've seen it firsthand. The developer team is extremely talented, and they're in there interacting with players on a day-to-day basis. On our Discord channel, I invite you to hop on over there and join the channel and take a look at what I'm talking about. It's really cool to see. It's truly like a poker player community with a site that has the poker players' best interests in mind, has their wants in mind, and are actively working towards providing a product that satisfies those wants. And it's super cool and refreshing to see. I say refreshing because it's honestly just a far cry from what we've gotten used to in the poker world. I feel like a lot of us are, you know, a little cynical when it comes to all things online poker, and it's understandable with what we've all dealt with. So might take a little time for more and more people to come around to it, but I'm confident that as people do come check it out and give it a chance, they're going to come to the same conclusion that a lot of our loyal players already have. And our players love Phenom Poker, and honestly, a lot of them are like hoping that the growth slows so they can accumulate more tokens while the price is low, because they're so confident in the product down the road that they want to get a bigger and bigger piece of the pie. All right, guys, looks like I am about to be big blind on both tables, so it seems like a perfect spot to wrap things up for today. Appreciate you guys being with us as always. Feel free to give us feedback, give us follows, likes, reposts, all that good stuff. Really do appreciate it. Really does help support the stream. Come check us out on Phenom Poker. I would love to see you at the tables. And until next time, have a good one.